Hello, my name is Betsy Sproger, and I'm here today to talk to you about homeschooling high school, especially for those kids who are considering going to college. Um, I'm from BJ's Homeschool. I've been blogging for about 8 years now. My husband and I helped our daughter get into each of the colleges that she applied to with scholarship offers. And after that, I decided I wanted to write a book about that to share my tips with moms and dads who've come after me. Um, so I put together a book called Homeschooling High School with College in Mind. This is the second edition. Um, Today I'm going to be sharing a lot from this book. I'm going to be sharing some free PDFs for you. And my plan today is to talk about 8 tips for getting into college for homeschoolers. I do have a course outline or a workshop outline for you, and I encourage you to download that because it lists off all of the 8 topics that we're going to talk about today, and I give you space there for writing the notes and that sort of thing, um, and it includes some free PDFs also. So anyway, just to let you know a little bit more about me. Um, I have been homeschooling for 14 years. My husband and I were blessed to become a family through adoption. We went all the way to China to pick up our daughter at age 1, and we started homeschooling when she was 4 years old. And it worked so well for her, and it fit so well with our family values that we continued all the way. When it became clear that she was doing well with the homeschooling and that it worked well for us, we decided to go ahead and continue through high school. And then, of course, the question of college came up, and I wasn't that educated. I didn't know, it felt scary to be knocking on the door to college as a lone homeschooler. And at the time when I was helping my daughter apply, which is now over 8 years ago, my friends in my homeschool group didn't have that much information either on applying directly to a 4-year college. We all thought that mostly community college was the way that we needed to go, and community college is a great way to go. Um, but my husband and I wanted to also allow our daughter to um, to have the option of going directly to a 4-year college if that's what she wanted. So during her high school years, I researched a lot to figure out how to approach the colleges as a homeschooler and found out a number of things. That first off, that even then, 8 years ago, the colleges were quite friendly to homeschoolers. They were happy to have homeschool applicants. And ever since then, the requirements for homeschoolers have become easier and easier. And now most colleges around the US um, are used to homeschool applicants, are happy to have them, are familiar now with our homeschool transcripts, and are welcoming to the homeschool community. So I'm here today then to go through 8 tips for getting into college as a homeschooler, and also to talk generally about planning high school at home. So let's take a look at your outline and let's get started. So first off, you need to know your prospective college admission requirements. And those are going to be listed on the college websites. Now, the thing that I found out was that not all colleges have the same requirements. So, what I did and what I recommend to folks is to research at least three, maybe four colleges that are likely or possibilities for your teen, and see what their freshman entrance requirements are. Those are the key words. So when you go to get on the computer, when you go to a college website, you just want to search for freshman admission requirements. Sometimes they'll call those college admission distribution requirements. It's the same thing. So what they're going to do there is they're going to list off the core courses that they require. And we all know what the core courses are. That's math, science, English, social studies, foreign language, and fine arts. And then they will list how many credits are required in each subject. So in my book, I have a chapter on that, and I have a printable that goes along with it that's downloadable. And even though this this is really not going to show that well, but let's see if I can. There we go. So I put together a printable for you when you're searching for the college requirements. On one side, it lists the different subject areas, and then there's a place for to record the requirements for three colleges. And with that, you're going to get a general idea of what's required for your student. Because we as homeschoolers do not have to follow what the public school graduation requirements are. We don't have to. We can use that as a guide if we want to, but in most every state in the US, we are not required to follow the graduation requirements. But for college admission, we need to follow what they ask us for. So there's a lot more on that in my chapter that's called, let's see which one, Researching and Getting Started. And in that chapter, if you'd like more information, it shows you typically what's the requirements for like a state university versus a private Christian college or an Ivy college, and it lists out the requirements, like for example, 3 credits of math, 4 credits of English, 3 credits of social studies, and so forth. So that is basically what I wanted to share with you today to introduce you to the college admission requirements. If you would like more information and to get an idea how I've written my book, I would like you to take a look at your outline, and on the outline it says free download, getting started with college, and I encourage you to take a look at that, because that's going to give you the same information as I just referred to that's in my book. And then you get an idea of the differences between the colleges, and you get a little more familiar with the topic. So let's go ahead now and talk about homeschool high school curriculum. Homeschool high school curriculum. Oh, my daughter and I had so much fun choosing these. We used a lot of our favorites from middle school, ones that worked really well. And there is no reason why you cannot go ahead and use your own homeschool style in high school. So I encourage you to do that. If you're looking for new resources for your high schooler, I have listed under number 2, I've listed 2 of my favorite resources for looking for new high school curriculum. And one of them is called the Curriculum Directory at Let's Homeschool High School. And they've got tons of stuff there. I just refer you to that to take a look. Another Another one of my favorite resources is the Curriculum Choice. Now, that's a website by Tricia Hodges, excuse me, who's a mom of 5. And now she's got, gosh, 3 graduates, um, and a college graduate amongst her 5 kids. And so she puts together everybody's reviews, and it's called the Curriculum Choice. And I refer you to that site if you're looking for new curriculum, because they've got so many great reviews written by homeschool moms who've actually used the curriculum with their kids and teens. And there's lots of faith-based reviews there too. Um, Another one of my favorite resources is Seven Sisters Homeschool. They offer ebook type curriculum. It's very frugal. I think it's well put together. And they do an awful lot of great courses in English. They've got courses in like for all the way through high school, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th put together. Then they've got specific courses in things like American literature. They've got some of my favorite memories were made by using Seven Sisters Homeschool. So I'll put a link. I think, yeah, I already did. Yeah, you've got a link there to Seven Sisters Homeschool if you'd like to take a look at some of their curriculum. Then in my book, I have a chapter on curriculum. Here it is right here, chapter 5. And I start off by saying, choosing curriculum with college in mind. Well, that really can't be hard for us. As homeschoolers, we're already experts in choosing curriculum. It's almost a no-brainer. The big thing, of course, about choosing curriculum is making sure that the curriculum fits the freshman entrance requirements. So in my chapter on curriculum, I go through each of the core subjects, and I list off the favorites that we used, and I list off a number of other options that we also thought were strong, and go through each of the subjects on that. And I also have a section on online homeschool courses. And now there's so many great things online. Isn't it overwhelming sometimes? So, in my book, there's more information on homeschool curriculum for high schoolers. Number 3, let's talk transcripts. Transcripts, according to the HSLDA, a great site if you haven't found them yet. Here's their quote on transcripts. Transcripts are a record of the courses your child completed in high school, the credits they've earned for each course, and each course's final grade. Transcripts also include personal information used for identification purposes, and usually a grade point average, the GPA. So there you go. That's all really that's involved with the transcript. And let me just show you here. Where's my transcript form? Let's look at the form that's on your outline. And mine really isn't going to show very well, but you've got it there on your outline. So on your transcript, you basically have your personal information at the top, and you've got a place to show each of the grades, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, and 12th. And there's just a place for the course title and the number of credits that your student has earned and the grades. And at the bottom, then you can see on this sample transcript from Teachers Pay Teachers, it shows your grade point, your grading scale. And there's more information on that in my book, and I'm happy to share also with you if you look further down on your outline, a a free PDF for putting together your homeschool transcripts. And it's just called My Step-by-Step Guide to Homeschool Transcripts. And in there, there's tons of details to help you put together your child's transcript. The sample transcript that I printed on your outline here is available. You just fill it in. It's $2 from Teachers Pay Teachers. There's also a sample transcript available through Fast Transcripts, and there's a link for you there. So with these resources, it really is not hard to put together a transcript. And Chapter 7 talks about transcripts and 10 key steps for making your teen's transcripts and showcasing your student to college admissions. And all of my information from the transcript chapter came from researching and from my experience in putting together my daughter's transcript. So it lists out the basics that are required on the transcript. And I'll just name those here for you. You want to have your school name, address, and phone number, the date of birth of your student, name of your student, all the courses that they've completed. That even includes courses that they've done outside of the home. Like if your student took some public school courses, you just put that on there too. If they took something at a community college, it goes there too. And for those who are going on to four-year college, then you usually also add your best SAT or ACT score onto the transcript too. And there's much more information in my chapter in my book, the one that I already showed you, Homeschooling High School and College in Mind. So please feel free to reach out to me if you have questions on transcripts. I'm happy to help moms who've come after me and take care of that. Okay, let's go on to number 4. Do high school electives. Now this is my favorite topic. This high school electives, this is a great time for your teen to figure out, to develop their interests, figure out what their skills, where their skills tend to lead them, what their God-given gifts are. And I have a chapter on high school electives, of course. I would like to first talk about how important high school electives are to getting into college. The colleges want to get to know your student, and one way they do that is by seeing what they did for their high school electives. And sorry, excuse me, sometimes I get nervous on video. So what I did for my daughter was I had her, each year to asked her what her interests were and helped her find activities or we put together courses where she could explore those interests. And some of her interests were in photography and in learning about state government and in art, learning how to draw, video making. She had a wide variety of interests and so we put together electives for her. The colleges like to see if your student has developed any leadership skills, if they've led an activity at church or they've They've helped to lead a camp. They were a camp counselor. They also like to see if your student has developed skills over time, have put time into developing a particular skill. And they also like to see if your student has experience working with others. And through groups like the um, we use some of the contests through the state fairs, local state fairs. And there were some activities related to that where my daughter could worked with others and got experience in doing that. And so so help your student develop their interests and make those high school electives and then share those with the colleges. And also, I wanted to mention that I have a chapter in my book on electives. Excuse me. And that includes a list of over 100 high school electives that I'd like for you to enjoy if you'd like to with your teen. Look through and get ideas of what they might like to do for their electives. All the way from animal care down to um, voice lessons. And in this chapter, I talk about ways to share electives with the college. And there's more ways to do that than just on the homeschool transcript. There's places on the college applications also to put to mention the the activities and volunteering and things that your teen has done. In the college essay, that's a great place to talk about some high school electives, particular activities that your teen enjoyed doing. And then I also have a section on leadership programs like Teen Pack Leadership Schools, counselor and training programs, the National Christian Forensics Communication Association. They put together great activities in speech and debate for homeschoolers. And you probably already have heard of them. So that pretty much covers what I wanted to say about the high school electives. So let's go ahead and tackle number 5. Add an additional credit or 2 in a core course. There's many ways to show rigor to the colleges. It can be done by doing an AP course, an SAT subject course, or taking a course at community college. But actually, those things are require a lot of time and extra effort. AP courses, SAT subject courses, and dual credit. Those will show the college the that their student has really worked hard on some advanced things. But honestly, most colleges do not require those type of things. Most colleges don't require AP courses. And if they do, they'll say that on their college websites. An easier way to show rigor is to add in an extra core course. So that's what we did. So if you look back at the form we talked about, college entrance requirement form, and look at the listing over here of the different core subjects. I suggest picking the one that your teen wants to do, which one they're strongest in, and just ask them to do an extra course in that subject. And then that will be on the transcript. The colleges will see that, and that shows the colleges that your student is motivated and very capable. That is, yeah, that's number 5. Now, some parents decide and some students want to go ahead and do the AP courses and that sort of thing. And that's great too. I mean, that's going to show rigor definitely. So let's go on to number 6. Know the number of high school credits that that will be required by your colleges. Now, this can vary from college to college. It'll be on the college's page of freshman admission requirements that we already talked about in number 1. For our colleges, they require 24 credits. It's just a good idea to look again at the college website, and when they list off the requirements, they're also just going to tell you how many credits are required. So that's an easy step, just to make sure that those get done. Okay, we're getting through this here. Number 7, do the PSAT and prep for the SAT and the ACT. Whether your teen is going to do the SAT or the ACT or the classical test, I recommend doing the PSAT first as a practice. And then if your teen does that test, then you're going to get the results. And there's resources online where you can take those results, and they will put together for you the recommended study for the SAT. So that's an advantage of doing the PSAT. It also gives your student practice. And my student really benefited from that. So getting familiar with the kind of questions they're going to ask and how to deal with a college entrance test. Talking about the SAT and the ACT. Here we go, chapter 14. In my chapter, I go through more information on the PSAT about how we approached the whole testing thing, and what we did each year with the testing. And in addition, then I list off frugal resources for both the ACT and the SAT. And so I refer you to that chapter for more information. It's also something to think about in relation to college scholarships, that even if your college doesn't require the SAT or the ACT anymore, many of the college scholarships are tied to those scores. So even some colleges now are requiring those tests for their homeschool applicants. And deciding which tests to do, SAT or ACT, that information is in that chapter 14 in my book. So I refer you to that too. I have less information on the classical test just because we didn't do that. But if you want more information on that, I do have a link in a blog post on the SAT and ACT in my blog, BJ's Homeschool, and you're welcome to search for that. Number 8, here we go, almost done. Number 8, get the college application and the FAFSA in. As far as the college application, the common application now is used by most colleges, but not all colleges. So have you seen the common application around on the web? It is online, and many colleges use it. So once you've put in all your stuff, then you can click the colleges that you want the information sent to, and it's less cumbersome than it used to be. But many colleges still use their own application, so that'll be on the website too. So as far as the common application, I do have a chapter on that because the common application is kind of complicated and has specific requirements for us homeschoolers. So in chapter 12, I introduce you to the common application, and it also includes help for what's called the recommender account and the school report and the counselor letter. And these things are not hard to do. Um, and I hope that my guide will help you through a step-by-step process to deal with the common application. I know tons of homeschoolers have used the common application and have found good ways to deal with the different things that they ask of us homeschoolers. One of the things they do ask us now is to write our own recommendation letter to the colleges. And I do have more information on that in my book, because that sounds kind of daunting, but it doesn't have to be. Okay, that's number 8. And then my last topic is making memories and don't forget the fun. And I'm kind of sorry I made that as a last topic because I really think it's one of the most important. So let's see. I do have a chapter on that, and I just listed out there some of the favorite things that we did that have become great memories. But I wanted to also just to suggest to you other ideas for making memories for yourself um, with your teens as you're homeschooling high school. So one of my ideas was to share hobbies with them, and we did that with photography, and we started when my daughter was young, and through the years we did a lot of photo trips. We just headed out. Um, the country is close to us. We're in a small town in Washington State, and we had so much fun taking pictures together and getting out and seeing bird life and animals and just beautiful, beautiful chance to get out into the mountains and things with our cameras. And so sharing hobbies is a great way. Doing projects together is great too. Like if you're doing home projects, hopefully not the great complicated remodels I used to see on TV shows, unless you're more adventurous than me. But projects together is another great way to build memories. And my daughter enjoyed video making, and she let me be a part of that, and really enjoyed being her videographer. There's special routines that we had established as homeschoolers that can carry into high school too, like tea time, or book clubs, especially nature study. And I do have a blog post on nature study and making it into a high school elective, and I encourage you to take a look at that. And it is in one of the PDFs that I am offering, um, and give you more information on that. Um, Refer you to the course outline, the workshop outline. Sorry, nature study. So such another great way to make memories. Special events, bird counts, the Audubon bird counts. We had so much fun doing bird counts together, and then just participating in contests either through your local state fair or through some of the homeschool groups. Um, that's another great way to make memories. Um, so, um, let's see. Some of the other fun things that we did was we did a lot of handwork together. Started off doing some little sewing projects, got into some handwork later with knitting, and I don't think we did crocheting. but sharing your own interests with your teen during the high school years, um, I think that's really special too. So let's see. I think that I just want to refer you now to the bottom section of your outline, which talks about my book and lists off some of the things that are in my book. And I do offer both ebook and also paperback. And each of those have 17 chapters. And I wrote a first edition initially to share some of the tips that I used helping my daughter get into college. And then I put together the second edition. And in the second edition, I added, excuse me, chapters like 101 Reasons for Homeschooling High School. Those can be helpful when you have relatives or friends who are doubting your educational choice. I added in how to make homemade courses, added in the common application, top sources for college scholarships, and I also just want to give you an idea of some of the uh, basic courses, basic sorry chapters that are in my book. Um, there's a chapter on 3 ways to assign high school credit. Um, that's key to getting your student into college is figuring out how to assign their credit to their activities, and all of their learning activities count. That chapter 6, will help you be able to show those activities through assigning credit to the colleges. So we've got a chapter on course descriptions and reference letters, preparing your teen for college writing, how to write the college admission essay, and more. So I encourage you to take a look at the sales that are coming up for my book. That's better, not so much of the lighting problems, right? And I want to give you an idea of some of the printables I have in my book. Um, I have a printable for record keeping for course descriptions. Let's see if the lighting's a little better. So it's a simple printable, but it gives you a place to write in the different resources that you've used for different courses, and it's just a way to you can print this out, multiple copies to keep track of those details, and makes it a lot easier when you put together your transcripts. Then I have an awards and activities form. There's always going to be a place on the college applications for the activities that your student has done. And so it's just nice to keep a record of that. When you're doing your curriculum planning, I have a form to keep record of some of the different things that you're considering using for your teen. You want to make an overall high school plan, we got a form for that. Then as you go along, a form to keep track of the credits your student has earned. And this is something you can start with early in the high school years. And so when you get around to putting together the transcript, you'll have these details. Writing the personal essay is a step-by-step form for your student to go through. So they get all the different aspects of the essay. Not just writing the essay, but editing it and going through the process of first draft and final draft and so forth. So, and then of course we've got the college admission recording form that we already talked about. So I just want to encourage you to consider homeschooling your teen. and especially if your teen is interested in college, to to know that the colleges are familiar with us now. They are familiar with homeschool transcripts, and that your student can easily prepare for college during their homeschool years. Thanks again for coming. Please do reach out to me with questions. Please leave questions, comments, and I will get back to you and answer them as best I can. And please take a look at the book. It has been recommended by Lessa, who is a certified college counselor. She wrote the introduction in the book, and I encourage you to take a look and see if that's going to be a helpful resource for you. Thank you, and thanks for coming to my workshop. Signing off.